Hey guys, welcome to Mikey's Video Game Madness. Today we're playing Bioshock Infinite, the DLC, Burial at Sea, Episode 1, which takes place a day before the actual original Bioshock, which is quite interesting. So, hopefully this will be interesting to you as well. I really like Bioshock Infinite. And there won't be too many spoilers, because the spoilers of these episodes really don't come until like the end of each episode. And I just really like the noir look to all of this, and I really like the Bioshock series in general. I believe the Infinite series is amazing and makes everything come full circle. There was a Bioshock 2, but it never felt like a true sequel. Infinite did, so I kind of regard that. I don't talk much about Bioshock 2. Eventually I'll cover it. Since I'm talking, I forgot that I need to light this cigarette. I believe you can buy a statue of this noir, or they call it the femme fatale, Elizabeth. She's a little bit older, as you can see. You can buy a statue for about $200, $300. I can't remember, and even more money if you get it autographed by Ken Levine. I believe that's the way you say his last name. You can get one autographed by him, which might actually be kind of a collector's item since he kind of went off and did his own thing.
Lost isn't dead.
So this gameplay actually has like a mixture of Infinite's gameplay and the original Bioshock, and I like how all your weapons and everything you pick up has a style that fits the more of the original Bioshock. This engine's actually a lot better than the engine that ran on the original PlayStation 3, which I kind of wish they redid the original game. Not that it's a huge difference, but it's a lot better. Irrational Games didn't actually make the port of the PlayStation 3 version. 2K Games did, which I believe actually are the people who made the sequel. The character models still look nice. This game's never meant to be photorealistic. Some people might harp on the graphics a little bit, but it's part of the style. It's a very stylized looking game. It's almost meant more to look like a painting. Even if you look at the conceptual designs of this game, it has that like done with pastels or oil paint look to it. It's just beautiful, and this gives you a glimpse of what Rapture looked like before its downfall. The first episode of the DLC isn't as well made as the second one, but I think this is just to give you an idea of just what Rapture was like before you see it in shambles like you do in the first original Bioshock. So this is kind of a sequel and a prequel at the same time. I won't go into further details of how it all comes together because it's kind of cool how it does, and you're not going to really get the whole story unless you play all three games. So even if there is spoilers, you're not going to know what the hell they mean unless you actually play the game start to finish through each game.
Knowing about the little sisters. How long have you been in Rapture?
Let's just say I don't get out much.
You've got eyes and ears, don't you?
If I wanted to share my life story, Mr. DeWitt, I would write my memoirs. If I learned anything about Rapture.
As you can see, Elizabeth isn't the naive, like childlike version that you met in Bioshock Infinite. She's a little bit older and cold, and she comes off that she's seen some shit. She still even has the little medallion on her neck, or whatever you want to call it. I guess I gotta be chivalrous and push the button.
Where are you taking me?
When's the last time you saw Sally?
What?
She was taken from you, wasn't she?
How do you know this?
She was taken. Down at Surprise. You were playing the tables.
Like, if they made an HD remake of this for PlayStation 4 and Xbox and just upgraded the textures to maybe at least the PC and ran at 60 frames per second and included all the DLC, I would buy this without hesitation again.
I'm taking you to one of them.
This is one of my favorite games, and well, Bioshock Infinite's one of my favorite games of
Get these spells sometimes.
all time from the PlayStation 3 generation.
Refreshment, sir. Madam?
We're fine, thanks.
You can see the people are spoiling. I'm trying to think what I get confused about. I think they're called Vigors in this one. There might be Infinite's version. I don't know. You gotta be sort of a scavenger, but a lot of games these days, like if you, especially with survival games, you learn to pick up everything you can find. Like I said, this chapter isn't terribly long. It's more just to set up the universe and introduce you to a rapture before, I guess it was basically raptured. If that even makes sense. It sounded good. Isn't sounding good half the battle? If you push up on the D-pad, if you're not used to this game, it'll tell you where to go, which is helpful. Not to say that the levels are confusing, but when you make a video, there's only so much exploring you can do. But like I said, with these shorter videos, I can cover a game more than once instead of making it a definitive, like, half an hour video. Otherwise, I'll end up turning into a playthrough. So maybe I'd show you bits and pieces of games in more than one video. That's one of the reasons why I started putting the dates at the end of my last few videos, so I can do that more. But yeah, they came out with an HD remake with minimal like updates aside making it look like the PC version had the DLC. I would have no issue even paying full price for this.
I'm with the artist struggle. We're expecting.
Actually, right now, I don't know if it comes with a DLC voucher. I would hope that would not be the case. But they did come out with a Bioshock Infinite version that has the DLC with it on current gen. It's a catch-22 though, because the original Bioshock Infinite on PlayStation 3 also comes with the first Bioshock game, which I believe is important because it kind of fits in with all the DLC and even the original Bioshock game. All the games come full circle story-wise. I don't really need to do that when I have this handy arrow. But yeah, so it's a catch-22. If you get the original Bioshock on PlayStation 3, you actually get it on the disc. I don't know if it comes with downloadable vouchers or it's on disc. If it was on disc, I would call it a deal. If it comes with vouchers for the DLC on the special edition, I mean, unless you haven't already bought them or whatever, it's kind of bullshit. With all these servers and stuff going down all the time, if it's a game I really like, I'm really into getting the physical copy. I can understand if it's like a multiplayer only based game, but I have certain feelings on that too. I'm walking around in circles and not following where I have to go because I'm talking to you guys, which I feel is important. Unfortunately, the first episode is more or less fetch quests, which is sort of boring, but I think this first chapter or episode is supposed to just be more aesthetically appealing and give you, like I said, insight of what the world's like. But if they do have a physical, if all the data of the DLC is physically on the disc, I mean, you probably should get it if you really like the game. I mean, I've been debating on it, and honestly, you can probably get the original Bioshock on either the Xbox 360 or the PlayStation 3 for probably $5 or less. You can get it extremely cheap, depending on whether you want it brand new or not. But I can't even see them selling the brand new copy for $20, more than $20. Even $20 would be sort of a high asking price based on what I've seen. You just gotta look around. But I feel like in order to get the full 100% idea of this story, you definitely want to play Bioshock 1, whether it's after this game in the DLC or before. Like I said, it's full circle, so it'll make sense no matter what order you play it in, and that probably doesn't make sense either unless you actually play the game. Elizabeth is pretty much a hard ass in this.
Cohen sends those masks out in some kind of box.
I love stealing shit. People in the Bioshock universe seem to have very large pockets. It's amazing what they're able to fit. You have to be careful if you haven't played, because sometimes like alcohol or cigarettes versus like food or whatever either gives you health or takes it away, or takes away your vigor ability.
Where should we look next? Upstairs at the artist's struggle.
Actually, they might call it Adam in this. I haven't played this in a while, as you may not tell. Vigors might be the Infinite's version. They're essentially the same things, but depending on whether you're in the Bioshock Infinite universe or the original Bioshock universe like we're here, they're called different things. Like the art design in this is so good. I would just love to see in high definition, as you might be able to tell. On the PlayStation 3 version, you actually, at least for the Infinite games, you actually can unlock the frame rate. It'll cause screen tearing, but at the same time, there's parts that the frame rate will run over 30 frames per second. I believe the Xbox 360 version is locked without the option. Even though it runs faster when the frame rate's unlocked, like the screen tearing is almost so unbearable because the frame rate fluctuates so much. I'd leave it on the locked frame rate. That way you get a steady experience. Or if your PC can handle it, you can play it on PC. But I personally don't like to play PC games. That's why, even if I had a PC that could run the game, which I don't even think that my PC can run the game. To tell you how old my PC is, I probably need to look into getting a better one. But if I get another PC, I'm not going to use it for gaming at all. I'm just going to use it for strictly like video editing, art, and business related things. It'll be like a work computer to me and nothing more. I just like my consoles too much until I'm forced to give them up for some weird download only or PC, unless the industry goes strictly PC. But I don't think that it's doing that. I'm talking and I forgot that she's distracting the guard so I could go through his shit.
Box. Nothing. Only one place left.
The action isn't always the best in the Bioshock games. And sometimes I think that Irrational almost wanted the game to be more like a Telltale game. Sorry if you hear the cat in the background. She likes to talk to herself sometimes. I have no idea why. Yeah, so most of this
No.
episode's mostly fetch quests. You don't really get into the nitty gritty of story until episode 2. But that's fine. Like I said, it's cool to see Rapture. I've repeated myself a lot. I apologize if you're bored because of that. I can't be like on my top of my game 100% of the time. If you ever hear a person say like I do a lot, that's just because it's an indirect but super obvious way to buy yourself time to think of what to say next, just in case you're not good at social cues. And my cat's playing with my shoelace. I hope she doesn't unplug anything.
Please come in.
Alright, I'm supposed to go behind the counter.
Hey, pal. You want to help out the little lady?
Yes, of course. Interesting,
Yeah.
isn't it?
I hate to get these patrons in my
He
store.
calls it miasma.
I'm sorry, but I know precious little about art.
Let me dig through your shit.
I don't want to open my mouth.
Box.
Fear what foolishness might tumble out.
There you are, you son of a bitch.
You see all that in that little picture?
Maybe in the safe. I already went through there.
Please, it's so beautiful.
Now that I've stolen stuff, like some kind of deranged
You've given me
kleptomaniac,
so
I
much
can
to
go
think
back
about.
to
I feel a trifle swoony. Would you mind if I return tomorrow for further education?
I shall be here.
I know the PC looks better, but it doesn't look mind-blowingly better than the console versions. But like I said, like even a slight improvement at 60 frames per second, or even better, I'm sure they have better assets. Like any improvement are as good as the PC version.
Third time's the charm.
Love to
Alright,
play.
it's best we head
I just
back
say
to
that
Covenant's.
over and over again because I'm looking at the artwork and I'm just like, and the art design. It's just such a cool
Fine piece of
place
work
to
back with those
explore.
shopkeepers.
I said
Bit of a grifter.
For that,
I
you
almost
can
feel
take
like they
my
added
father.
shooting
Yeah.
mechanics
He was a
just
man
because
comfortable in a variety of
I
roles.
don't know if, and I don't know if it would sell. Like a game where it was in first person and you just searched around and experienced things. Sometimes I think they added shooting mechanics and stuff just
So, what kind of field
because,
you in?
I mean, first person
Yeah,
shooters
occupation. Can't imagine what kind of employment would
are
be
probably
attainable in
one
a
of the
job like
most
this.
marketable genres of games. Although it seems
Pet
like
collection.
those games where you collect a bunch of little figurines and stuff are starting to gain momentum and popularity. I never thought that would happen. Remember the first time I saw Skylanders,
Look the fools.
Trust me.
and I was like, this is gonna fail miserably, but it caught on. And they've made like 200 different versions, and Disney wants in on it, and now they're coming out with like consoles, like toy companies are coming out with consoles that use the figurines. I mean, they'll come out with like Game Boy Advance quality graphics, but I mean, they're trying to capitalize into the action figure collecting scene. What a nice mask.
Ah, very well. Mr. Cohen awaits your participation at his performance.
The loading times
So
in this
who is this
game
fellow Cohen?
leave a little
Sort
left,
of underworld figure?
leaves a little left
He's
to
an
be
artist.
desired.
An artist who kidnaps children.
Like when I was trying to push the record button, I was trying to find the best time to push record,
Gets an
but
idea in his
I'm
head,
sorry you got
end
part of the menu
conversation.
screen. I didn't want to start recording right when the game started, just in case it switched resolution or whatever and corrupted the file. Oh, it's one of those avant-garde shows. A lot of light shafts in this game. Where are the projectors that are shining? There they are. I love the attention to detail, even if it's not the most detailed thing. Is that there's some logic to the way everything works. Like here, like you can still see the projectors and stuff, so though it's in a fictional world, they still try to make sense of the way it works. I'm gonna jump to try to see the people and ruin the illusion for myself. It's been a common thing that has lens flare that reflects dust on the screen, which is kind of interesting because it's like, are you seeing this through the person's eyes or a camera?
Shall be no failure on my canvas. Oh, there's no room in rapture anymore.
Can I talk to you or what? There we go.
Who are you?
Finally let me have the option.
This one's a real biscuit. Isn't he a biscuit, ladies?
I'd ask a few questions.
Questions? Yes. Yes. It is the work of man to ask. It is the work of
Feel a little creeped out by being in this area, but whatever.
You've seen this girl, haven't you?
We artists see more than most. You are more than you claim to be, little songbird. Are you not? Watch this one, DeWitt. She'll take you where you don't want to go. But I know the child in that photo is important to you. So many children flit, flit, flit away.
That paintbrush looks like it's just a piece of plastic that you give the little kids so they can pretend that they're painting so they don't make a mess.
In exchange, all I ask is a dance.
What?
I see something in you too. Art strips away artifice. Show me who you are, and I will show you where you need to go.
Yeah, I'm
Mr.
sure.
DeWitt, dance with me.
Come, dance.
Still missing her finger.
I shudder to think what greater price he might care to extract.
For as classy as she is, you think she'd have something more interesting than a thimble, but you know, whatever.
They can be no more separated than birth and blood.
What do you think Cohen's customers do with the children? Do they?
Sometimes. But those types lack the capital of people like Ryan and Sucho.
That's a blessing.
You saw those little sisters? You so sure? But if Su Chong had Sally, I'd know it.
How?
As I tied him to a chair and asked him
So?
for 15 hours.
I don't know what to make of you, Mr. DeWitt.
Listen, we're not gonna keep...
Fitzpatrick!
Uh-oh. You knew it was coming. Alright guys, I'm gonna stop there. That's Bioshock Infinite, the DLC, Burial at Sea, Episode 1. Maybe I'll show you more at a different point in time. But for right now, hopefully that video was good enough. Sorry I got quiet in a lot of parts. The game just really interests me and I get lost and start watching the game. Which kind of I know is lame for video making. But if you like this video, please feel free to click like, and if you haven't subscribed yet and you like this channel, feel free to subscribe. But I'm sure you already know what you want to do, but I figured I'd throw it out there anyway, just to remind you. If you didn't like this video, hopefully there's one that I made that you like, and then I'll win you over and you'll subscribe. But thank you guys so much for hanging in there and watching this video with me. I hope you enjoyed it again. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to leave comments, negative or positive. I do prefer the positive comments. I should have said positive first instead of negative then, but I screwed up. And if you do choose to leave negative comments, please make sure they're constructive and not mean-spirited. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Talk to you guys later. Take care. Bye.